Hello there. Welcome to Sword Fight Garage Band. Today I'd like to talk about one of the first Hauptstück and one of the first Meisterhau of the German longsword tradition, the Zornhau. When performing the Zornhau, we'll typically begin in Vom-Tag with our sword held upright, and within this position we want to make sure that our sword is not leaning out to the side when we are making our cut. That will cause a scooping action to occur. It will also cause our blade to take longer before coming into contact with our fencing partner, and will also give a greater tell to our opponent, which will make it easier for them to defend against this cut. So a good Zornhau is going to come from a straight vertical line next to our side from within this guard. The first thing that should move is the tip of the sword, and as it travels out towards our fencing partner's head, we will balance ourselves and align our body so that our cut has structure by making a passing step with our rear foot. This should be done at a slight outward angle such that we end up passing behind the path of our sword and ending on the opposite side of where their descending cut may be coming. This ensures that there's steel between us and a counter cut that's coming in against us. It also ensures that if we engage our opponent's sword in the bind, we're set such that we have a greater ability to resist the structure of their cut, so that if we do not wound them in the initial strike from this position, we can continue forward into a thrust into the upper opening, or from this position press or wind or engage in some other action from the bind to wound them with a following up attack. When throwing the Zornhau and all of our cuts, remember to keep your shoulders relaxed, your elbows tucked into your body. We don't want them to drift outwards, or they make wonderful targets. They'll also slow down the passage of our cut. The cut should come from the tip first, and we should imagine that it's coming down and scribing a slice from the crown of our opponent's head down to their lower jaw. When that cut ends, that tip is always going to be outstretched towards our opponent. We want to make sure we don't follow through all the way to the lower opening. If we practice the cut with that style of follow through and then we miss the cut while fencing, this puts us in a dangerous position where we don't have a defense against what our fencing partner is doing back to us. We also lose the ability to push forward with the thrust or engage in the bind. So when practicing the Zornhau, it should be done such that the arms are at almost a full extension with a slight bend to the elbows. The tip is directly between your gaze and your opponent's upper quadrant, so that a continuation into the thrust should be able to strike them. The Zornhau is a great cut that brings us closer to our opponent. It brings us into the bind if they're cutting against us as well, and is a great opening attack that can be utilized, that's well-rounded, well-structured, and can be executed either to give us that first strike or put us into a great defensive position from which to continue fencing.